We're at the end of the year here, cousins, and we had a few interesting sales here at the end of the year I wanted to share with you. Check it out. All right, cousins, here we are. I'm showing you right here on the old computer that we sold a bunch of items, 307 to be exact. I'm just going to show you a handful of these. Let's jump right into it here. The first one happened just, maybe a week ago. I'm very happy about that. What I did here was I plucked from a lot on eBay a bunch of costume jewelry, high-end, quote-unquote, high-end costume jewelry. And with it, I put some brooches and some other nicer pieces that I had bought locally over the last few months into a larger lot. And actually this lot was listed at $2,000. Okay, that's a lot of money for costume jewelry, but there was some gold plated, some sterling silver, and a 10-karat solid gold necklace in here. As you can see, this is a beautiful lot of brooches. Just really nice rhinestones, really pretty. This is nicer stuff. This is not your plastic. All of these stones were made of glass or semi-precious stones. Here's the another picture of this right here, as you can see. Really nice. You got some amber colors, some really bright greens. The emerald green, I just love that, and I love this blue color up in here. Anyways, all of these were Trifari brand and Weiss. If you're not familiar, guys, look up the really nice brands. Trifari, Weiss, and Coro are some of the usually easier to find brands, but still higher end. And then there are other higher end ones as well. Do your research on that. I accepted a best offer for $1,200. I was around, I think I paid $275 for the lot, and then probably another $100, $150 for the individual pieces. I was no more than $400 into this lot, and I sold it for $1,200. Here we have, this was an awesome find at the estate sale that you have probably no doubt seen several videos that I have done where I found a nice vintage toolbox this year with awesome vintage tools in it. I found a variety of other great pieces of jewelry, gold jewelry, silver jewelry, and whatnot, and other oddities. This one particular time, I found this lot right here of, it was, I don't remember the exact count, folks, to be honest with you. It was somewhere between 1,300 and 1,400 individual pieces. But they were McDonald's pins, and also, as you'll see at the bottom here, buttons. Yes, I am trying to hover. There we go. All these buttons. And so, what I did was initially I put these all up individually, and I sold them anywhere from $5 to $20 a piece for several months until at the very end of the year here I decided to push this entire inventory out, and I ran an auction at $1,000. And wouldn't you know it, this whole lot sold for $1,025. So out of a $125 or $120 investment, I believe that I bought, it was 12 bags at $10 a bag. So it'd be a $120 investment. And I sold probably, did several $100s in sales off individual items, and then you drop this $1,000 item off there at the end. Really, really great return on my investment. Here's one more. This came from a local thrift store that I like. And this was it says late night, December 1992. I did a short video on this. It's a David Letterman style leather jacket. David Letterman, it's a letter style jacket that's for the Late Show David Letterman. I paid $50 for this, I believe, $40 or $50, and I sold it the next day for basically $400. The best offer was accepted. I think I sold this for $350. I had it up for $399. Here's another one. This box was actually just given to me by some cousins locally here. Didn't know what to do with them, and it was a bunch of stamps. As you can see here, I'm kind of showing you some of these, and this is part of the, I don't know, the nuance of doing sales of lots is that there's two different camps. One camp says show as much detail of everything that's in there as possible. Then the other camp says show just enough to get people's interest, but leave a little bit unseen so that they think, so it'll be fun for them. They can go through and figure out what is in there themselves. Now, you risk people being disappointed, but you also potentially have people who get real excited by looking through it. All that to say, this cost Rusty $0, and I sold it on auction for $446. All right, I'm back on here. I'm going to show you this mug right here. We just did a recent video showing East Fork pottery and how valuable it really can be. This mug we got years ago, been drinking coffee out of it, running through the dishwasher. I recently discovered this brand and just how valuable they can be. And so I put this up for auction, $364 on 5 bids. Phew, that was great. And here's the other one that we did. East Fork pottery again. This is 2 mugs in what they call the Utah glaze color. Used, definitely used. $300 off of the best offer. I had it up for $350. The next day, I sold it for $300. This was an interesting one. This one is what they call a banjolin. You've got a banjo and a mandolin. Basically, if those two had a child, this is what you would get, minus the crude sketch of a woman from the 1940s. I'll get to that. What I found this out locally, really cool thing, what you have is the banjo body with the resonator on it, on the back, the wood resonator, which I'll show you right here. Beautiful. It was kind of like, it's basically what this looks like is pyrography, which was actually something that was done primarily back in the 1890s to 1930s, where it was a combination of burning in wood, etching in wood, and then coloring, hand coloring it. And a lot of times you'll find like wooden frames for pictures and things like that. In this case, they did it on the back of this resonator. It's gorgeous, as you can see right here. Kind of that green leaf outlet, the outer portion, and then kind of that design in the middle. And then with that resonator, you have this very small neck, not like a regular banjo neck. It's actually the length of a mandolin, and the tuning on it would be the tuning of a mandolin. So you would play and chord like you were playing a mandolin, but of course it would sound like a banjo, hence the banjolin. Whoever this was had drawn a picture of what I believe was Jane Russell, who was a very popular actress back in the 1930s and 40s. Because this came with what a lot of the people in the music industry lovingly refer to and sarcastically refer to as mother of toilet bowl. It's this fake looking perloid plastic that they have put on the fretboard here. And stuff, over time, the glue comes up and it pries up. In this case, it was actually in pretty good condition still. But all that to say, someone got 1 bid off of it. It took me several months to sell that one. Not popular because it's kind of an oddity a bit. Then the next one here, you've got a couple of different ladies' watches. One, the Elgin brand, and one, which is the Bulova brand. And you can see on the back here, these are 14 karat gold, not gold plated, actually solid gold, the bezel and the back end. And you can see this right here, 14 karat gold in the Elgin. I put this up for $250, I think. No, I put it up for $200. I think I sold it for $180. But I basically paid $5 for each of these watches. So $10 turned it into $180. I saved these until I could sell them as a lot together, because I thought that would maximize the chances of selling it, and I was right. Next up we have here is a large lot of toys. I don't know how many pounds, maybe 40 pounds worth of toys. You can see these all bagged up here, various ones. Some of them were broken, some of them were heavily used, chewed on, whatnot. But there were some collectible ones in here. This is a bunch of stuff I bought in various places over the course of the entire year and saved up to sell in one big lot. The other thing is I plucked really nice vintage collectible toys like Star Wars toys and other really collectible stuff out of here to sell individually, and then this is what was left over. I was happy to get $199 off of that. Next up here, we have the Marvel Legends Retro 3.75 inch Wave 1 lot of action figures. Now, guys, I had been, again, picking these out one by one as I found them at places like Walmart retail stores, Target retail stores. I saved them until I had a large lot of 20 figures. I bought these all roughly about $10 a piece. 60 plus 120... 40, 60, 80. I basically just sold these and got my money back on, which is something I do rarely. Usually I make money on stuff, but sometimes, I mean, Rusty's not perfect. I make mistakes sometimes. This wasn't exactly a mistake. I guess, overestimated that people would want these a little bit more than they did. Also, I noticed when I got these, off the shelves. They had just come out. Months later, I find a lot of them are still on the shelves. And it looked like there was a lot higher production on these than there were a lot of other types of toys like G.I. Joe's, Star Wars action figures. Those have done a lot better for me this year than the X-Men. And sometimes you don't know. You're throwing darts a little bit. I knew I'd always make my money back on it. I could have held on to these a lot longer, but I chose to just push them out. I'm trying to get inventory out at the end of the year here. This was the last of the East Fork pottery stuff that we've sold in the last 2 weeks. It was a small little saucer. This is probably about 8 inches wide in diameter. Again, this was a gift to us, so it cost us nothing. On auction for 25 bids, we got it $152.50, guys. This stuff, not only is it highly collectible, but it's really good quality stuff. So if you haven't seen that video we put out this last week, check it out. Don't know, it's not a huge company. You may not find it where you're at, but it never hurts to look. The more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be anyways. Here we had somebody accepted best offer off of $150 that I had this up at, and we sold it for $140. I think I paid roughly $75 for this about 3 months ago at, it was either Walmart or Target. I believe it was Target that I purchased it at. It was the Vintage Collectible Series. And the thing you need to know about this is that inside of this particular collection, this particular toy, is that there was this carded character. Now, some of these vehicles and some of these larger boxed items that Star Wars puts out, they have action figures inside of them that are in their own case. And several of them are like what this one is like, and that being this particular character that's in this box, even though he's in a carded case, this is the only place you can get him. They do not sell him separately, individually. The only place you can find him at is inside of this box. And so people who want that particular character to complete a set, or if they want, to have everyone in order of the ones that they put out, sometimes they have to buy these larger boxed items in order to get that character. Some people buy these. They'll sell the character separately, and then they'll sell the box without the character by itself. I just chose to sell this together. And also at some times, just so you know, the character inside the box is worth more selling them by themselves than the box itself and everything else in it. So sometimes you can purchase these, sell the vehicle or whatever else is coming with it by itself, and then sell the character for exactly what you paid for the entire lot. Moving on here, we have a 14 karat gold, solid gold, diamond ruby ring, size 7.5. That's a little bit larger than the average women's finger size that they would wear this on, but nonetheless, it's also kind of out of style, out of date. This is more of like a 1940s, 1950s design. This V-shape with kind of the way that those stones are set. Paid $40 for this at an estate sale. Turn that around, 23 bids, basically $150. Bought this 2 weeks ago. This is the Italian, a cameo. It's made out of silver, 800 quality silver, not 925. It's not sterling silver. It's slightly less than sterling, but it's still silver nonetheless. It's very old. It's definitely made out of shell. You can tell it's thin, carved very well. Turned $40 into a $120 sale within 2 weeks. This one really made old Rusty happy. I bought a lot. In fact, there's a small video of this. A few months back, I purchased this container that said jewelry making supplies. And inside of it were a bunch of these stringed, ceramic and glass beads. I broke up that one box that I paid $18 for, and I've put them into about 20 different lots. I've maybe sold half a lot so far, but just this one sale for $90, I'm well into the profit off this one sale, and I got several others yet to sell. It's so much fun looking at the stuff I've sold, but let's take a quick break, run over across town, and find some more goodies right now. Shall we? Run you over. See, I don't have to worry about you. Wow. You do gotta worry about her. Here's the bag, folks. Let's get in and just see what things old Rusty pulled out of the thrift stores today. First off, we got this. It's a bizarre little thing. It's got a porcelain, I think it's probably made out of plastic, but it's made to look porcelain. It is hand painted, however, face here. The hat has these spooky little witches and Frankensteins and looks like little ghosts on it. The collar here has a bunch of skulls, as does this puffy kind of, well, look at that, $1.99 is what I paid for it. A puffy kind of like skirt dress thing. The pants have skulls and crossbones back down to this hand-painted plastic feet that come out of here. This is made by Sugarloaf from Boulder, Colorado. And it's still got the tag on it, folks. Sugarloaf Classics Toys. This has got to be from probably the 80s or 90s, judging by the colors and stuff on that. But really interesting. I got it because of the kind of macabre, the dark look, the skulls. This is clearly a Halloween type oriented item, and it's old. So old Halloween items I always go for. $1.99 was sort of a no-brainer on that one. All right, this was interesting. Paid 99 cents for this. Let's go ahead and remove that if I can. What we have here, oh doggone yes. That's why I hate them sticking these tags on, because it damages the boxes and stuff. This is a cake ornamenter, number 334C. It's made in the U.S. This is what you would put icing into and squeeze it out, I believe, onto a cake. And this is old school, folks. It's still got this wrapping on. I don't know if it has ever been used. You got a variety of different tips with different openings on the end there, and then you got this. This looks almost like a canvas type baggie. I wouldn't use it now because of how old it is and all that. But it's got you know, this discoloration. But that's not going to matter. Some people collect these old things when it comes in the original box as well. And it looks like inside of here we have the original instructions. This is the Azteco, I believe. It says $5 on the back of it, but I did not pay for, or Arteco, maybe. Really cool. I have not even looked it up, but for $1, I'm sure I can turn a profit on that. Not a problem at all. Anytime you find old things like old tools, sewing items, or really anything, if you can get the original packaging, the box, even if it's been used, if it comes in the original box, even original boxes on old lures and things like that can definitely increase the value, sometimes by 50% or more. What else do I have down in here? All right, paid $1.99 for this. I wish I had paid 99 cents for this, but what we're looking at is a Disney character from Snow White, and this looks, based on his eyes, it looks like Sleepy. What do we got here? Yeah, Sleepy, Disney by UNESCO. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's a Walt Disney, it's a 65th anniversary collection, and so there'd be other ones, obviously the other dwarfs and the other ones, but it's in good condition, and people collect Disney. It's a big category that people collect, and so I'm sure I can turn a profit on that. Here's another thing I got that is in its original packaging, and I paid up a little bit. I paid $4 for this. Grumbacher. It is a paint brand, okay, that makes paints. They still are around today, I believe, but this is a very old set, and you can see that we have black, white, and then a 1, 3, and a 5, and these are neutral grays. And so what this package is actually for, see if it says on that, no, it says it on here, is, Gamma, it's a retouch white. 6 tubes, it says. This is actually only 5 tubes, so one of the tubes is missing out of this package. But it doesn't look like they've been used. Canadian, so this is a Canadian company. I don't know how old exactly that this is from the 70s or what, but people collect these old paints, sometimes these are no longer available, and since these haven't been used, they could be used still. These old oil paints, I believe that these are oils, can be preserved for a long, long time. Grumbacher, New York. It does not say. And here, let's see, steps, photographs, lay evenly, will take on a dull or glossy photographs without chipping or cracking. Okay, so this is something that you can put on photographs. It's a touch-up photo engraver tested for retouching. Okay, interesting. So I'm going to look this up and see, but I think for $4, I'll definitely be able to resell that. And then the last couple things you have here, folks, are stuff you might have seen in the beginning I was looking at, and that would be pieces of costume jewelry. You got one here, this necklace wants to just hold on. I paid $4 for this, Lauren Conrad. I don't plan on selling this by itself. It's beautiful look here. I believe these are cubic zirconians. But what I'm going to do is, instead of selling these like this, I'm actually going to take them out, and I'm going to put them with other costume jewelry to sell as a large lot. But they had such a nice look. They're appealing to the eye, and so I thought something of this caliber of look would draw attention to other jewelry in a lot that I want to sell to maximize the sale on that. And so I was kind of scheming. I didn't plan on selling that by itself. And then what we have here is a nice little necklace. This is just sort of, I don't know what they call this type of a chain, but it's not very significant. It's got that one little kind of clasp where it links together on the little balls here. But on the back here, if you can see, it's got a cross inside of a heart. And then below it looks like it has the initials MEX, as in Mexico, possibly. And what you have is a religious-oriented necklace here with some rhinestones that are technically prong set in here. We got this cross with some letters, and I don't know, this is probably a Catholic or some sort of, religious emblem here. And the downside is that there are no openings behind these jewels, these gemstones. So I'm pretty confident that these are glass or plastic, and these are not actual genuine gemstones, or else they would have taken the effort to let light pass through it to enhance the view and pleasure. But anyhow, nice little necklace for $2 is what I paid for this one. I'm pretty sure I can sell this as well, and if for a while it doesn't sell, I can just throw it in like I'm going to do this one with a lot, and then I'm guaranteed to sell it. I paid $2, so that's $4. I believe that one was 99 cents. So I'm at $5, I believe. $6, $7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bucks, folks, for all of this stuff. I expect to make probably around $100 profit off of this lot. Not a huge thing, but guys, this is what you have sometimes. I've bought this painting with another painting for $20 at an estate sale earlier this year. I only paid basically $10 for this one piece. It took me all year to sell it. I was not in any hurry. Ended up getting a bid for $85 on this, and I got the other one left, so it'll be fun to kind of sell that. It may have been the exact same estate sale, the same one, the same day, or maybe a different time I was at the same place, but I bought this for $20. It was a vintage clutch, like leather handbag, really nice clasp. It was as if it had never been used. It was a Morabito brand. I'm not familiar with them. You can see that right there, Morabito, something like that, from Paris, it said. But $62, I had it up for $75, I think, and I accepted $62 on this one. This one also I've had probably since the middle of the year, but I only paid $2 for it, I believe. Not too horrible to turn that into $55. This is a Big Boy, which was kind of a, I don't know if this is from the 1940s, 1950s. It was a brand, a character here. It had to do with hamburgers. It was a food chain. But this was painted in 22 karat gold leaf, where they would paint that on. It had faded a little bit, but it was still in decent condition. Was glad to get 55 off of it. Here was a Marcosite, which is a type of reflective stone that was heavily used in early parts of this century. And you can see it's quite pretty, and you open it up, it's a little bit newer of a brand of watch, but this is also sterling silver, so it was 925 silver. Kind of the hidden watch there. The band was quite gorgeous. I was hoping to do a little bit better on it, but I only paid, let's see, $2.50 for it. They did not know that it was made out of silver, so it was outdated. So people think that nobody would want that kind of thing. They were wrong. This is some wire that came for jewelry making out of that same lot I talked about earlier in this video for $18. So basically in the same week, this last week, I sold that lot of those beads, the glass and ceramic ones, for $90, and then I sold this for $45. Again, I only paid $18 for that box, and I still got stuff to sell out of it. This was a really cool brooch. You can see these large, stones. I believe that these are most likely glass. If they are not glass, then they maybe are authentic citrine. They are prong set with rigid prongs. Even though this is kind of a grimy, dark color, this is actually sterling silver around that. And this is a brooch kind of on the back. It's like a clip type brooch. So you can put these on, on scarves, on the inside of a coat, things like that. Really pretty here. Patent pending, it says. It says that sometimes whenever there are specific types of hinges or clasps or pins on the back of brooches, that's a common thing to find. This came in that same lot of all those McDonald's pins. It's just I happen to have this out still selling separately. These are little magnets. You put them on a refrigerator. They're just plastic, guys, but they are these kind of, in the olden days, branding characters from McDonald's. The Hamburglar, of course, and Grimace. And people collect this stuff. Again, after selling that huge lot and even the ones before that, I was already in a profit. Another $25 does not upset me in the least. Okay, last few items here, guys. A bunch of real picture postcards. I absolutely loved this, and I almost kept it. I kind of wish I had. It's just so stinking cool. This is what a Christmas tree looked like back in around probably 1905, 1906. Look at these old ornaments on this tree. You can see here there's like a little bears at the bottom there, maybe like polar bears. They got these old glass ornaments on here. So cool. Not that unlike what we have today, folks. You can see this almost like this garland of looks like holly leaves. What a cool thing. Somebody put a backdrop behind that and took a real photograph of that. It's a postcard, of course. It's what they would call a real picture postcard. All the ones you're about to see, I spent $4 or less on a piece. This sold for $24.50 plus $2 shipping. So I made a really good price off of that. Here's one of some gentlemen back around World War II era. I believe this is 1930s. And you've got a couple of gentlemen here with what appears to be either, I believe that this is a koala bear. I believe that they were in the Asia area around Japan and China, and they took this on the boat with them. And it is a real picture postcard of these men just having a good old time with this little critter. $24.50 also. And then here's another real picture postcard. The thing I love about this, aside from just the scene, it's the scene of a horse and buggy, a man and a buggy with two horses. You've got people in the background, a couple of women in Victorian dresses, a couple of men with hats on. And there's my favorite part, guys. Over to the side here in the right, it says Post Toasties. And it has an advertisement for cereal, Post Toasties. I believe it's cereal, but it's definitely an advertisement for an old food product. And this is just sort of like an old general store. Really cool shot. Real picture postcard. Here's one of a train car, or a trolley car, I guess, right here. It says Eastern Washington something, tracker or something like that. And it's Eastern Washington trolley at the square. It's got the date written right there, January 18th of 1907. If you look on the back, the cancellation there verifies that, January 18th. New Jersey, Washington, New Jersey. Really cool. People definitely collect train and trolley car related things. This sold just recently. I bought this in a lot of costume jewelry, of which I've already sold several out of and made the money back. This basically has sense into this, if anything. It is a couple of cufflinks, but they have this really cool floral sort of Art Nouveau, I guess you could say, design on them. They possibly are gold-plated, definitely copper color, so maybe a combination of the two, maybe gold-plated. $20.89 off of 4 bids. I was definitely surprised we had multiple bidders on that one. And then here we have a pair of German-made sew-in scissors. They're grimy, they're old, they're dark. You can see the right here, it's this Froscher, I guess, Droscher company from Germany. I paid $18 for a box of maybe 20-some pair of scissors like this and similar ones. So $18 for one pair out of that means I've made my money back on all of it. And then all the rest of them is where I'll see the profit. Last up, what a cool shot. This is a man and a woman. This is, again, back turn of the century, around early 1900s, before 1910. Let me see. Nope. Well, it has to be 1908 or later because the back is divided, as you can see. 1907 and prior, they did not have a dividing in the back of that. But look at this old moon and the face on the moon and the stars, and they're sitting there. I don't know if they're just uncomfortable. I know that a lot of people didn't smile back then. If this was a date, I don't know if it was going super well. We can't know, but it's just a cool look. Was this a dance? They look a little bit too old to be at like a school dance, but maybe not. Everyone seemed to look 20 years older than they really were. Those are probably 15-year-olds as far as I know. But I got $15 out of that postcard. Again, I was $4 or less into that. Well, guys, that is some stuff that we sold in the last month. I'm happy to report that we met our goal of sales this year. It was a big number, and I'm in the middle of making a video to talk about that and how we got there, so that's going to come soon. But I hope this helped you out. Maybe you saw a couple things to look for when you're out from now on. We'll be back at this soon. Be looking for a video on how we were able to gross, what we were able to gross this year, and more. Thanks, cousins. Let's go find some treasures. Rusty.